Hey guys, what's up? Alec back with the daily stock market, and look at that. The account is down to $95,000 on the public account. Remember, this is only one of my accounts. Now, everyone is screaming and crying about a big crash going on, but it's not as fearful as you think, okay? My account peaked at around $100,000 for the full account on February 18, and we're down to around 96,000. So it's only gone down around 4%. Okay, so 4% is nothing to cry about or get crazy about. Again, this is my long-term portfolio that I plan on holding for an extremely long time. At just a year ago, this account was only $66,000. Okay, so for it to be at $95,000, I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely happy. And if I was fearful of the markets, like everyone that is screaming about the crash is, then my cash would only be $66,000, and I would be missing out on nearly $30,000 of basically free money just by educating yourself a little bit and knowing where to put your money in the stock market. So follow along with this journey, because sure, it's at $1,000 now, but the question is, where will my portfolio be this time next year? Or even this time 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now. So if you are starting your investing journey and you want to follow along with me and watch my account grow and get tips, hit that follow button, subscribe, and let's dive into the 3 best stocks to be buying right now. So first and foremost is AMD. Everyone knows them, everyone loves them, and they're at $100 per share. When was the last time we got these prices on AMD? Let me tell you, it has been a while. The stock is now down nearly 10% in just the past week, which could present a buying opportunity, which is why it is starring in this video. It's also down 12% in the past month, down 27% in the past 3 months, and they are down 49% in the past year alone. So is this a good time to be buying? In my opinion, it is, yes. So in my opinion, AMD is not the star of the semiconductor industry. Obviously, there's a lot better names like NVIDIA, TSM, and even Intel could be a huge competitor for AMD during the moment. However, I don't think that AMD stock did top. And in my personal opinion, this is not financial advice, I think it will be going to around $200 per share once again. Even if that takes 12 to 24 months, I'll be extremely happy with that 100% gain over 24 months, because that's how long I probably think, it could take AMD to get back to those levels. Everyone's fearful of AMD right now. Everybody's selling AMD. The narrative has moved away from AMD and closer to NVIDIA, and everyone cares about NVIDIA. But guess what? That's the best time to be thinking about stocks like AMD. You don't want to be thinking about AMD when it's $207 per share. It's March 8th, and everybody's thinking about AMD, and everyone's buying AMD. You want to buy it on those downturns, so now could be a good buying opportunity. Keep in mind that the PE ratio is a little bit expensive. It is 99. But this is a growth company. It's not a value company. So looking at the PE ratio is probably and most likely completely pointless when you're dealing with a growth company that's growing and growing their revenues and growing their net income. Now, the only issue and why it's down a little bit right now is because they haven't been doing growth company things. Now, as a growth company, you're supposed to be growing, number one, your total revenue year over year significantly. They are growing quarter over quarter from 6.1 to 7.6, which is good to see, that double-digit growth. And if we go out to the yearly, we can see in 2020 they were closer to 9.7, and now they're closer to 25 billion. So yes, they are growing. However, in 2023, we saw a step back. If we look at the last 5 years, 45% growth, 68% growth, 43% growth, which is amazing. And that's the 3 years that we saw the stock price rise significantly because it was doing growth stock things. However, after that, we saw a 3.9% decline, red flag, and then only a 13% growth. Okay, so quarter over quarter is looking a lot better. We are growing good. So, the numbers should be picking back up here. If we look at the net income, it's the other concerning thing. because look at that. In 2020, it was 2.4 billion and now it's closer to 1.6 billion. So AMD's got a lot of stuff they need to figure out, but yes, it is a discount and they could get back to huge profitability. They're not just going to be stuck at 1.6. I think they can grow their net income and get back to those growth numbers and that total revenue. So yes, there is obviously still risk with a stock like AMD. Nothing is just a free lunch or a free ticket. But look at that balance sheet. That's beautiful. That's one of my favorite balance sheets in the entire stock market. There's very, very low risk of this company going out of business anytime soon. They're at 16% debt to asset ratio. They have an amazing CEO that knows how to run a company the right way. Not too many debts, not too many liabilities, and extreme amounts of assets, which I like to see for a risky company like AMD. Now, what do analysts have to say about AMD? So analysts have an average agreement around a 48% upside in the next 12 months, which is pretty on pace with what I'm projecting, hopefully around a 75 to 100% increase over the next 2 years. Analysts have a $147 price target over the next 12 months, 48% upside. Some analysts have them as high as $225 per share in the next 12 months, and some analysts have them as low as $110 per share in the next 12 months. A lot of 4- and 5-star analysts coming in. Cody RC from Benchmark Company actually just put a $170 price target and just reiterated that 12 days ago. This is an analyst, a pretty great analyst. He's number 184 out of 9,000 analysts and 60% success rate. So pretty good analyst. This analyst just adjusted their price target from 170 to 130. Even if it goes up to 130 in the next 12 months, that's a success because it'll be probably beating the market and the stock will be up 30%, which is great to see. We also see like 140, 125. Top 25 analysts just reiterated this 25 days ago. So if a top 25 analyst is saying 140, 225, 147, they definitely don't see too many red flags with this company. They see it getting back to profitability and they see the revenue growing and most importantly, the stock price growing over the next 12 months. Now, the next stock that we have to talk about is ticker symbol RKV on the TSXV and RKVTF on the OTC. That's Rakovina Therapeutics. And this segment of the video is sponsored by our friends over at Rakovina Therapeutics. This is not financial advice, by the way, so make sure you do all your own research. Recently, Nancy Pelosi made headlines with her investment into Tempus AI. While Pfizer recently had a $43 billion acquisition of Seagen, this signals a massive shift towards AI in healthcare. It's predicted that this could be one of the fastest growing sectors of AI over the next 5 years. But while the big names like Pfizer, Nancy, and Tempus AI are all dominating, Rakovina Therapeutics is flying under the radar while still making big waves. And one of the ways they're doing that is with AI-powered platforms designed to cut drug discovery times. To discover these drugs, it usually takes years. Rakovina is cutting it down to just months. Rakovina can screen billions of compounds 100 times faster than conventional methods. Rakovina isn't just about speed, it's also about precision. Their platform delivers a 6,000-fold enrichment, accelerating the transition from discovery to clinical trials. And that's the most important thing, to not only transform the drug discovery, but also to get it to clinical trials a lot quicker. The DNA damage response DDR market is projected to hit $18 billion annually by 2030, and Big Pharma is already betting big on AI-driven drug discovery. Deals like AMD's collaboration, for example, with ABSCI Corp and Eli Lilly's $1.4 billion acquisition of Point Biopharma show a massive capital pouring into the space. And while the headlines focus on these major players, Rakovina could be flying under the radar right now. So they are definitely one to be checking out. They have the groundbreaking technology and a first mover advantage in AI-powered cancer treatment, with AI transforming drug discovery at an unprecedented rate. Rakovina is a company to be watching right now. Here we can see they also have an experienced team with a track record of success. We can see that the executive chairman / director, 25 years of experience as founder and executive of multiple companies across the health sector. You can see all the different companies that he's been a part of. A lot of them are in the same sector of biotech, pharmaceuticals, which is a good sign. I would also recommend going and looking into some of these companies and see how successful they have been in the past, because that could indicate that this man, Jeffrey, can lead a company to success. Now, we could also read about the president and the CSO, cancer biologist with 20 years of experience in traditional cancer research, DNA damage response mechanisms. CFO looks very experienced also, with over 25 years of experience. Now, their PhD, senior AI and medicinal chemistry advisor, Artem Cherkasov, is a very impressive part of the team. He's co-authored more than 200 research papers, filed more than 80 patents, and licensed 8 drug candidates to major companies, as well as utilize AI-based platforms. Dr. Artem is one of the key developers behind the Deep Docking AI platform. His expertise in AI-driven drug discovery has already led to multiple successful licensing deals with major pharmaceutical companies, proving that Rakovina isn't just experimenting with AI, but actively creating real-world drug candidates with billion-dollar potential. Now, Dr. Artem Cherkasov is the one that actually designed the Deep Docking AI system protocol, the first generation. So this is a huge game changer for Rakovina, having somebody like this, because this platform generated a compound that was later licensed to Roche in a $142 million deal, the largest AI-driven biotech transaction in UBC history. And if you want to see exactly where I am and read about it yourself, by the way, you just go to rakovinatherapeutics.com and then click on the 3 bars and go to investors, and then I'm reading the corporate presentation. You could just click there, and then, or even go into the fact sheet, but you just click there, and then you can read through it, and you can see all of the people. You can even read about the COO a little bit. They even have a full board of scientific advisory board that you could read about, every single member. So there's a lot going into this company, and this is the man behind it all, Jeffrey Bacha. So it could be worth it to look a little bit deeper into him as well after going through this presentation here. Well, in the last month, they were as high as 20 cents per share. Now they're closer to 15 cents per share. They're down 30% just in the past month. But if we go over to the past 3 months, they're up as high as 100%. So that's amazing growth to see in just 3 months. Remember, we're trading just 3 months ago in December, closer to around 7 cents per share. The last year, they're up 115%. They were trading around 8 to 7 cents. And then in November was their low at 6 cents. And then they ended up just shooting up all the way to around 23 cents. An amazing gain, around 300 to 400% gain in just the span, from end of November to end of January. So this is still a hot stock. This explosion was just 30 days ago. They've had a little bit of a sell-off now, but they could come back around and have another leg up. There seems to be a lot of volume pouring into the stock right now, and they could be on a hot streak. It seems like their support is closer to around 11 to 12 cents, and it's trading at 14 cents right now. So there is a lot of things to think about, but I wanted to put this stock and this sector on your radar. Remember, once again, this is not financial advice, and this section of the video was sponsored by Rakovina Therapeutics. And the last stock that we'll be briefly talking about, we're not going to dive in too much because I want to make a full video about this one this upcoming week. NVIDIA at $125 per share, okay? We did see a little bit of a roller coaster on this one in the last week or so, as high as 136 and as low as 118, which is around a 13% drop in just 1 week for NVIDIA. That's a big drop. From February 19th, it was at $141 per share, and 118 was around a 15% drop. Okay, so if I could get NVIDIA under $100 per share, I'm going to start buying a little bit heavier. But let me tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm dollar cost averaging in NVIDIA, even at $125 per share. They're only up 50% in the past year. And this is one of the best stocks in the entire company. It only has a P/E ratio of 42. So it has a little bit better, well, twice as much better of a P/E ratio than something like AMD, implying the stock market thinks it's a better deal at the current price. A $3 trillion market cap is absolute insanity. I'm not buying too much NVIDIA because I'm dollar cost averaging in things like QQQ and SPY, which are already pretty heavy in NVIDIA. You know, it's around 11% in NVIDIA on QQQ. So therefore, I don't have to dollar cost too much into the stock itself because I'm already dollar cost averaging into some of those ETFs that hold NVIDIA. But I think under $100 per share is the best place personally to be buying NVIDIA for long-term investors. And even dollar cost averaging in at 125 or under is a good thing to do. But I'm going to be buying the heaviest under $100 per share and hopefully even lower than that. So thank you guys so much for making it to the very end of the video. Slap a big thumbs up on this video because you know it was an absolute banger. And share it with somebody who likes AMD or NVIDIA stock. Over 1.2 million views in the last 30 days. So our page is extremely hot right now. We're getting a lot of signups. If you want to become one of the next success stories, click on that link in my bio. Message me on Instagram if you have any questions at all. I get back to every single message. Share this video with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, don't time the market, buy the market. Peace.